This is John from Programming Knowledge, and in this video guys, I'm going to show you and teach you how to use if statements in C programming language. We're going to discuss about the logical operators and of course the assignment operators. So previously we have discussed this relational operators. So we have like 6 relational operators, the equal, or checking if a value is equal to some value also, and then not equal. We have also greater than, less than, and then we also have greater than or equal to, and we also have less than or equal to some value. So this is quite useful guys if you are using the control statement in C. So for example, if statement, and then you want to check if a certain value is equal or not equal to some value. So for example, if a variable x is equal to 2, so basically we're just checking if this particular variable or the value of this x is equal to 2. Or we can reverse that. We can check if this particular variable is not equal to 2. And of course, you can use other operation or operators like greater than, less than, or we could also double check for greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So basically guys, these operators is like just checking the relationship, or if the certain value is greater than another value, or it is equal to another value. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, which is the assignment operators. So basically guys, there are a lot of assignment operators in C programming language. Okay, so the first one will be the equal sign. Okay, this is one of the most common assignment operators in C programming. So for example, you want to assign, so as I've said guys, this is for assignment operators. Assignment operators. Okay, so basically this is useful if you want to set a value to a variable. Okay, so for example x, and then if you want to make this like 5, or the value of x is equal to 5, you can do that by using this particular assignment operator equal symbol. Okay, that's easy. And the second one is plus equal. So we have this also, plus equal, and then it basically means guys that it increments the value and then assign it to the variable. Okay, so for example, you want to make this like x and then plus equal to 2. So basically, let's try this. We can remove this code right here. We can use the increment, then assign. So basically, like we set a value for x, we set it to 5, and then we can have it like x plus and then equals to 3, and then we can use the printf function and we can display the result further. So for example, the value is the format specifier, and then of course the comma, and then the x variable. Okay, and then semicolon at the end of this line. Save this and then compile and build, or build and run our application. So basically, as you can see here, the value is 8. So this is the doing of the plus equals to 3. So basically what it means that it add 3 to the variable x, and then of course the result of that is assigned to variable x also. Okay, so this is basically just incrementing the value of our variable. And of course we also have the x minus equals to, for example, 1. Okay, So basically, it is the complete opposite of this one because this is for incrementing and this is for decrement. Okay? And of course, we do have other operators for this particular topic, which is the assignment operators. We also have x, for example, times or multiply equal to 2. You can also do that. And basically, the division also. Okay? You can do also the modulo part, modulo symbol, and then equal. And then, so for example, 2. And there are others, so for example, um, percent, or I mean x, and then and um, and symbol and equal symbol, and then of course the value that you want to assign. So this is basically bitwise and assignment. So we're not gonna use that for now. So basically our currently concern is this operations. We can have the increment. The first one is equal, and then of course the increment, the decrement, and then multiplication, then assign. And we also have divide and assign. We also have modulo and assign. So that's basically how the assignment operators work. So the last thing that we want to discuss here is all about the logical operators. So logical operators provides three mechanism that we can test more than one condition to make a particular decision. So these are the and symbol. So meaning it is logical and. Okay, logical and. Let me show you that later on. What this means. Logical and of course we also have this bar, and this is logical operator or logical or. And then of course we have the negation or not symbol. Okay, so logical or, and then this is and of course logical not. Okay, so let me show you how this works, this three logical operators. Now let's try to use the logical operators. So for example, the first one, the logical AND operator. So we have here variable x, which is set to 8, or the value is 8. And then we can check if this particular value is, or the particular variable x is greater than 5. So we can do that by using the if statement. And then x, is it less than or greater than 5? So if x is greater than 5, then we can display something in our screen or output something. So we can do printf, and of course the value is greater than 5. Okay, so we could build and run this and see the output of our program, and of course it's gonna display the value is greater than 5. Okay, so what if the value is 4? Okay, so obviously there will be no output because the condition right here turns to be false because the actual value of x is now 4. So no statement has been executed for this particular program. Now we can use logical operators and in this particular scenario. So for example, you want to check that the value of x should be greater than 5 but less than 10. Okay, so we could check if the variable x is greater than 5 but less than 10, and we can do that by uh, using the logical AND operator. So double ampersand and x and then less than 10. Okay, we could do that. And of course, if we try to run this, still there's no output because the value of x is 4. So we can try 6 here, build and run our application. So the value is greater than 5, and we should add here that the value is less than 10. Okay, build and run our application. So the value is greater than 5 and it is less than 10. Now, what if it is 11? So obviously it's going to display nothing in our screen because the conditions of this particular statements is not met. Okay, so that's how you can use the logical AND operator. And of course, when we say AND, basically it means that it should be both of this statement or both of these conditions should be true in order for this statement to be executed. Okay, and you can also use the logical operator OR in this particular scenario. So it doesn't matter if the x is greater than 5 or x is less than 10. It should, execute the statement that we have here. Okay, so for example, you run this. Okay, so we have the value is greater than 5 and less than 10, and we can try like 20, or maybe use the value 20 in our x. So let's try this, save, and then build and run. Okay, and as you can see, we still have, or we still get the output, the value is greater than 5 and less than 10. That's because this particular statement here returns true. So it doesn't matter if this particular statement here is false. So as long as there's a true, returns either of this statement. So there should be statement printed or executed inside this particular if statement. Okay, so I think that's all there is to it, guys, for this tutorial. And in the next video, we're going to discuss deeper with this particular if statement. And of course, if you want to learn more about C programming, you can try to watch our video tutorial series in C for beginners. So see you guys in the next video, and thank you for watching. So I think from the previous video, we have like touched the basic usage of if statement. So we have tried the if statement with the logical operators. So the AND, the relational operators, the greater than, less than, or less than or equal to, and other relational operators. Okay, but in this particular video, guys, I'm going to go deeper with the if statement and how we can apply if statement in our C program. And of course, guys, I want to show you the practical approach on how you can implement if statement in a C program. So basically, guys, if statements in C is used to control the program flow based on some conditions. So it is used to execute some statement code block if the expression is evaluated to true. So otherwise, it will get skipped, and we will try to implement a simple or basic program utilizing the if statement. So actually, guys, there are 4 different types of if statement in C. So these are, simple if statement. We also have if else statement. We also have nested if else statement, and we also have else if ladder in C programming language. But for now, let's just focus on the simple if statement. So basically, the structure of if statement is just like this. So we have this particular format or basic format of if statement in C. We have if keyword and then open and close parentheses, and then inside of this open and close parenthesis is the test expression, okay, or the condition. And then of course, we should, add curly braces, open and close curly braces, and then of course the statement to execute whenever the test expression or condition is met, or in this particular case, if this particular condition is evaluated into true. Okay, so now let's try to implement a practical approach of an if statement. So say for example, you are developing a program or a software for a particular bar. Okay, and then that particular bar only accepts customers that are over 18 years old, and those customers that are below 18 years old are not allowed to enter the establishment or the bar itself. And we can create a very simple program for that, and our program will accept the age of the customer, and then it will evaluate the age and it will display a message based on that particular age. So the first thing that we're going to declare here is the variable age, which has the type of int, and of course we need to display something on to the screen that says to input a number that pertains to the age of the customer. So in order for us to do that, we need to use the method printf, and then in here we can say enter the customer, or enter the age of the customer. Okay, then we can add colon and then space, so we can have like this space for our input age. Now we have this output and we need something to accept a number from our user, so we can use the method. I think we already used this before, the scanf, right? So in here we need to specify the format specifier for our age, which is %d, which pertains to the values that are of type int. Okay, and then of course after this we need to add the comma, and of course the variable age, and of course we need to end this line with a semicolon. But the proper way of doing this is to add an ampersand symbol. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is just we're getting the address of age and assign value of that particular address using the value that has been inputted by the user. Okay, and of course we can now apply our if statement with this particular age. So the first thing that we're going to check if the age is greater than 18. Okay, so we can just copy and paste this age variable, and then we can add the logical operator greater than. So basically what we're doing here is to check if the age is greater than 18. Okay, so there you go. And then of course the statements to execute if condition is true. Okay, so basically what we can do here is to print the age is greater than 18. Okay, and basically it says, or it means that the customer can enter the premises or the bar itself. Okay, and of course we can also check if the user or the age of the customer is equal to 18. Okay, we could also check that by using the logical operator or the relational operator equals and equal symbol. So this is just testing the age if it is equal to the value 18. So the first one is we're testing the value age if it is greater than 18, and the second one if it is equal to 18. And then of course we need to display the corresponding output. So the age is equal to 18. Okay, and then of course we can add another one for this. So we can just copy and paste. For this one, we need to check if the age is less than 18. So this is another logical operator that we have discussed from the previous videos, okay? So greater than, equal, and then of course less than 18. And of course we can output here like minor is not allowed, okay? That's because the age of the customer is less than 18. And the general rule when it comes to bar is minors are not allowed. So basically what we're doing here is a very simple program for that particular bar. Okay, now we can try to run our program. We can just build, okay, and then we can run our program, and we can enter the age of the customer. So for example, the age of the customer is 18. So the age is equal to 18. Okay, so as you can see, this is the only output, or this is the only statement that has been executed, the age equal to 18, because the other one, the other condition is not being met or not evaluated to true. Okay, because the age is equal to 18, and of course this is greater than 18, and of course this is less than 18. So we can try another one. So for example, the age is 19. So the age is greater than 18, and of course again this is the only statement that has been executed, because the condition evaluated to true. This is evaluated to false because the age is not equal to 18, and this one is evaluated to false also because the age is not less than 18. Okay, so you can try this one more time to check for example, the age of the customer is 16. So the output is the minor is not allowed. Okay, that's the practical way of using if statement in C programming language. We're going to talk about if-else statements, and of course we're going to discuss also the nested if-else statements in C programming language. Now, from the previous video, we have created a simple application. So we have assumed to create an application for a bar or establishment, and then that particular program will ask for the age of the customer that is trying to enter the premises of the bar. And of course we ask for the age, right? And we check for the age. If it is greater than 18, then we display the age is greater than 18, and if the age is equal to 18, and we also display the age is equal to 18. But in case that the age is less than 18, then we print that minor is not allowed. So basically guys, this is a good program, but we can upgrade this. This is not when it comes to code readability and code maintainability, this is not a good practice when it comes to checking a variable or a certain value of a variable. So now let's just remove these lines. Okay, and of course we have this first condition if, and then we check for the age of the customer, which is 18. So if the age is greater than 18, we display the age is greater than 18. So as I've said, we can take this further by adding else statement right here. So basically the if else statements in C is also used to control the program flow based on some condition, and the only difference is it used to execute some statement code block if the expression is evaluated to true. So it will try to execute this particular statement if this particular condition is true. Otherwise, it will try to execute the statement of this particular else code block. Okay, so in here we can try to display printf the age is less than or equal to 18. Okay, so as you can see, if we try to evaluate this, so if age is greater than 18, so for example you have like 19 or you inputted 19, then of course automatically it will execute the statement that the age is greater than 18, right? Now basically if we try to input 18, so 18 is not greater than 18, so it will try to execute the code block or the code or the statements inside this else code block, because the condition right here returns false. Okay, because 18 is not greater than 18, and there you go, it returns false. Okay, now we can also add another condition right here. So for example, we want to check if the age is equal to 18. Okay, we can check if the age is greater than 18, and of course we can also check if the user or the age is equal to 15, and then otherwise it is less than 18, and we can add another else statement right here. But for now, let's just add the another condition or condition evaluation test expression if the user or the age is equal to 18. Okay, so basically this particular statement, if this particular condition right here is false, then it will try to evaluate one more time with this particular condition, is the age equal to 18. So if that particular age is equal to 18, then we can display the age is equal to 18 right there. But in case if the age is less than 18, we can also add the else statement right here, and we can display that the age is less than 18. Okay, so as you can see, we have implemented a practical implementation of if else statement, and we can add the first if condition, and then we can add another condition else if, and then we can test this condition right here. Otherwise, if these two conditions are returning false, then we can execute the statements in this particular else block. Okay, so we can try this. We can run our program, build and run. So let's try first the possibilities. So for example, the customer, or the enter the age of customer, for example 25. So the age is greater than 18. So let's try to run this once again, and we can try to input 18. So the age is equal to 18. Okay, so this particular condition right here returns true. Now we can also try to input a value which is less than 18, so for example 16, and then of course the age is less than 18. Okay, so as you can see in this particular example, there will be only one block of code that will be executed. So for example, this one, if this will return true, the age is greater than 18, then it will execute this statement right here or inside this if block. Then it will ignore the other like the else if and the else. Now if it will return false, then it will try to evaluate the expression inside here, and if it is true or it will return true, then it will execute this statement and ignore the else. If all of these statements or conditions here will return false, then the else statement will be executed. Okay, and it will try to print the age is less than 18. Now there are cases that we need to check also. For example, inside this if statement, we want to check if the age is less than 25. Okay, less than 25. Although we have like the age is greater than 18, we want to check also if the age is less than 25. So we could add also if statement right here. So this is like what we call nested if else statements. Okay, nested if else statement. So we can also check here if age is less than 25. Okay, and then we can display here printf, and then the age is greater than 18 but less than 25. Okay, less than 25. And of course we can also add else statement here or else if, like for example, else if the age is greater than 25, then we can say here printf the age is greater than 18 and greater than 25. So there are cases that you want to check this, if you want to, like in the future you want to implement an application and you will try to check the values, and somewhere in your code you need to check like the value age here, and also you could also check if the value is less than 25 or greater than 25. So it is very useful when it comes to programming this particular nested if else statement. So let's try to run this, and before that I'm just going to add a \n right here so that we will have a new line after this particular code execution. So let's try to build and run our app first and try to input a value that is over 18. So for example 23. So the age is greater than 18, and there's another statement that has been executed right here. The age is greater than 18 but less than 25. We can also run this once again and input 26. So the age is greater than 18, and there's also a statement here, the age is greater than 18 and greater than 25. Okay, and that's how you use the if else statement or if else statements in C. And then of course if you have like many conditions that you want to check, so you can also add another conditions right here. Okay, and then another condition, and otherwise if these conditions are not met, then you can display or execute the statement inside this else code block. Okay, now the nested if else statement requires only one if. Okay, so you can't use like two ifs here, because it will try to separate the chain of if else if you use another if. So what you can do is one if, and then else if, and also one else statement. So it doesn't matter how many else if statement that you can add, okay, for as long as it is like has one if and has one else statement. So we're going to learn how to use ternary operators in C. So basically guys, the ternary operator is used to execute code based on the result of a binary condition. So when we say ternary operators, it is used to execute code based on binary condition. Okay, and it takes in a binary condition as input, and which makes it similar to an if-else control flow block. So for example, guys, from our previous tutorial, we have discussed how to use if-else statement. Okay, so we have this kind of structure. So for example, we want to use this structure or code to get the maximum of two values or two variables. So if you want to like return the max value, all you have to do is compare the two variables A and B. So for example, if A is greater than B, then of course A or max will be assigned to A. Otherwise, the max number will be the value of variable B. Okay, so the ternary operator, guys, instead of using if else like this is too long for a simple, checking of value condition. So the binary or ternary operator uses only single line, or we can use the ternary operators in a single line, and it returns a value, so behaving similar to a function. Okay, so let's try to see the syntax of the ternary operators in C. So basically the syntax is like this: um, result, and then binary condition, and then you have to add the question mark, and then you have like the value when the binary condition is true, otherwise the value of value to be returned if the binary condition is false. So we have to take note, guys, that the ternary cannot be used to execute code. So it must be either returned in a function or set equal to a variable. So you cannot use this like something like this. So you cannot leave your ternary operator like this. So it should be equal to or be set equal to a variable. Okay, something like this. Or you can use it as a return in a particular function. Okay, so let's try to implement a ternary operator. So for example, you want to check the max value. So the long version is this: if A is greater than B, then assign the value of A to the max, and then otherwise assign the value of B to the max variable. So as I've said, we can make this a little shorter by using the ternary operators. So in order for us to do that, we just need to so for example, get the variable max, and then the binary condition is A greater than B. Okay, so we can add the question mark. There you go, question mark, and then the value to be returned if the binary condition is true. So of course, if A is greater than B, then the max value is A, right? Otherwise, the value is b, or the return or the max value is the value of variable b. As I've said, guys, this is the explanation of conditional or ternary operators in C. So we have this variable, and then we have the expression or the condition, and then you have to add the question mark, and then the value if true. So it will return the resultant value into the variable, and it will assign this value to this variable. Otherwise, if the expression is false, then the resultant value of the false, then it will be returned as the value of the variable that we have added. Okay, so we can check this right now. We can remove this. This is the long version, and we can try to print this, display the result. The max value is, and then format specifier, which is we're using int, so %b, and then of course the max variable. Okay, let's just remove this. So clean and build, or build and run our application. So let's try this. We don't have like the value for a and b. So let's try to assign values to this variable. So for example, a equals 15 and b equals 16. Okay, so clean and build our application, and we'll try to get the output. So the max value is 16. Okay, so we have here the b variable 16. So that's the value of max variable that is being assigned, because this particular condition returns false. So that's why the value of b variable is being assigned to the max variable. So we can also try this with the other, if the a is greater than b, so like 20. So obviously a is greater than b. So let's try this. Exit this for now, and then build and run our application. So let's try this. So there you go. The max value is 20. So this condition returns true, because a, which is the value, is 20, and that's greater than b, because b is the value is 16. So it returns the value of a, so like this. So it ignores the second part, which is the b, because it returns true. And then of course after evaluation, the value of a is being assigned to the max variable that we have here. So it printed out that the max value is %d, and then which is 20. So let's try this one more time, just so you can see the output. So the max value is 20. Okay, so this is quite useful if you only want to check a certain value. So like if you're planning to use if else, then you might want to use the ternary operators, which is like this. So it will just save you time, it will save you of code space, and I think it's clear rather than using the if and else statement. So this is pretty straightforward when it comes to checking the value and assigning the value to the max variable. Okay, So you just have to remember that it cannot be used to execute code. You just have to set this equal to a variable, or you can use this as return value of a function. Okay, so I hope that's clear, and I think that's all there is to it for this tutorial, guys. And if you have questions, please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.